This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so last class I was talking about the system navigation, like how you're going to be logging into SAP application, what are the screens on which we are going to be working it out. Like first one is going to be called as an SAP Easy Access, which will be taken care by the end users for recording the day-to-day transactions which are carried out in the business. And second screen is display IMG. So this is going to be under the control of consultants. So where we try to basically do all the configurations and development based on the client requirements. All development activities will be done on the backend application. So this is what I was trying to talk about. So how to log in and what are going to be the different clients where we can work out and what is going to be the name of the application. So right now we are working with ECC 6.0 EHP 7. That's the one. Now let me try to introduce the first concept in sales and distribution, which we call it as an enterprise structure. So before we try to record any particular transaction in SAP, we need to make sure the company org structure is developed. So that's going to be the first topic, enterprise structure, or you can also call it as organizational structure as well. So in today's class, I'm going to be explaining few of the terminologies. Once we come to know the understanding of the terminologies, we are going to be taking one business model, and based on that business model, we start to do the configurations required. Okay. So here on one side, I'm trying to call it as a domain terminology, or you can call it as a layman terminology. And on second side, SAP terminology. So how we are going to be mapping a particular term in SAP. Now the first thing or first term we need to be having a knowledge on, we try to call it as a client or a company. Client or company. This is the first thing. Now I've clearly explained like what exactly this client is all about, what they do. Because they are the one who want to use SAP application. So all manufacturing companies, trading companies, service-oriented companies. We are going to be calling them as clients over here. So I picked up a lot of examples which companies are trying to use SAP application for their business. So these are all companies which we are going to be calling them as clients. Okay. So in SAP terms also, it's going to be the same terminology used. So there is no change in it. In SAP also, we use the same terminology, client itself. So what is exactly the job role of a client, what they do? So they are going to be the one who will be allocating the budget for SAP implementation. How much amount on SAP need to be spent, that figure is going to be provided by the client. Okay, and we are going to be doing the implementation according to their requirements. So he's the highest level in enterprise structure. That means he is the one who will be taking all the decisions which is required for the business. So in case if he's not happy with the SAP performance, he can even scrap the project as well. That's what you mean by highest level. Okay. So how much amount need to be spent on SAP is basically the client who will be fixing up the budget. Now I'm just trying to take up an example over here. Let's say Reliance company is there, or let's take in a broader one, Tata. Now Tata is there. We know this Tata is trying to run multiple business over here. Like for example, Tata Steel, Tata Powers, MCG, hotel business, they are into insurance. Okay. constructions, IT. So this particular company is trying to run multiple business over here, multiple business. So investment on each and every business is not the same. So let's say on this particular business, the company is trying to spend around 4,000 CR. On Tata Powers, 1,000 CR. On hotel industry, 1,000 CR. So investment is going to be different. Revenue generation is also going to be different. Business model is not the same. Revenues is not the same. Expenses are not the same. So all accounts need to be maintained separately. I can't club everything. All accounts need to be maintained separately over here, because then only we can come to know like how much revenue we made from that particular business. So each and every business of a company, we are going to be mapping it as company code. The second term you need to understand. Each and every business of a company, we are going to be mapping it as a company code. Now, what information this company code is going to be providing us over here? Now, this is nothing but it provides the information related to balance sheet. This balance sheet is all about profit and loss statement. It's all about profit and loss statement. By investing an X amount on a particular business, how much revenue we made it or how much loss we made it, that information will be provided by the company code. Because at the end of each and every financial year, the company need to release the statements, whether the company is performing in profit or loss. And if you want to run any particular business in India, we need to get the, or any other part of the world, you need to get the permissions from that government. So we can call it as a legal entity. Legal entity. So each and every business of a company, we are going to be mapping it as a company code. And why we require this? To generate a balance sheet. And when this balance sheet can be generated? When payments are recorded. What type of payments? It can be incoming payments or outgoing payments. Or in simple terms, we can call this one account receivables and account payables. To prepare everything, then only we can know whether the company is in profit or loss. So all payments need to be recorded in SAP application over here. And this particular organizational unit, we try to call it as the highest level in financial accounting. We're going to be calling it as a highest level in financial accounting. Okay, so each and every module will be having one organizational unit which will be addressed as in highest level. So in financial accounting, it's going to be the company code. Okay, so there's one way of how we are going to be mapping a company code over here. Now, I'm just trying to take one more example of a Samsung company. You know, this Samsung is trying to sell only electronic goods. They don't have any other sister business like this. They're trying to sell only electronic goods, but at different geographical locations. Like they try to sell the products in UK, in India, in USA, in Asia, in Gulf, at different location, they are trying to sell the products. Same products, or it may be differ. So based on these geographical locations also, we are going to be creating a company code. Because currency of transactions at different geographical location varies. Products sold varies. Accounts maintenance varies. Okay, your financial year also is going to be getting varied. Because in India, it's going to be April to March. In UK, in USA, it is going to be Jan to December. Okay, so based on these geographical locations, we can also map it as a company code over here. Okay, but this is very much mandatory because whatever payments are recorded is getting updated against company code level. Against company code level. Okay, so you need to know as a consultant when you get into a particular project, like how many company codes need to be created for that particular business. So for that, first thing you need to basically analyze the complete business, and based on that only you can propose a solution for that. So how everything need to be mapped up. Now going ahead over here, now next term which I wanted to introduce is factory, or we can call it as manufacturing unit, place where all our production activities are going to be done. Place where all our production activities are done. So this factory of manufacturing unit in SAP terms, we try to call it as plant. Is the terminology used. Plant. Activities remain the same, only the naming convention is getting changed. So in SAP terms, we call it as a plant. So plant is nothing but a place where inventory management is going to be executed. We maintain the stock levels, inventory management, storage, where we store all different types of materials, raw materials, semi-finished, finished product, everything. Okay. And second one, it is place where production activities are done, where we change the status of the materials from raw material to semi-finished, from semi-finished to finished product, where all production activities are going to be performed. So here you need to know plant is used in two ways. One for storage, second for production, for manufacturing. So instead of calling it as a factory or manufacturing unit, in SAP terms, we try to call it as a plant. Simple. And for one company or one business can have multiple plants maintained at different locations. Okay, factories can be maintained at different locations. So please try to understand the terminologies, how it's going to be used. So instead of calling it as a factory, we are trying to call it as a plant. That's it, nothing more than that. Now, when I'm talking about this inventory management, where we need to maintain the stock levels. Now, where do you maintain it? Because in one plant, we are going to be having different types of materials, raw materials, semi-finished, finished products, scrap products, returns products. There are going to be different types of materials. So all that materials cannot be updated at one location, right? Because everything is going to be getting mixed up. So it is going to be difficult for us to analyze which stock came back or which stock has been issued. It's going to be a crap. So for that reason, what we do inside the plan, we try to maintain storage location. Inside the plant, we are going to be maintaining storage locations. Or technically speaking, definition for this is going to be subdivision of plant. We are going to be dividing the plant into storage locations for storage purpose. If you take an example of an 3 BHK apartment, like I can use one bedroom for storing only raw materials, one bedroom for finished product, one bedroom for semi-finished product. Okay, so in the same way, within the plant, we try to maintain multiple storage locations for storing different types of materials. One for raw material, one for semi-finished, one for finished product. Like this, we try to maintain multiple storage locations within the plant. Now, why we need to maintain so many storage locations, how it is going to be benefited for the business. Like first thing, we can get accurate stock count report. We can go for generation of stock count report over here. So how much stock is physically available in the inventory, we can get that. So with the help of that particular report, we can ask our production team to do the manufacturing, or we can ask our purchasing team to purchase the stock, or we can tell the sales team as well. So for which product we have a lot of stock which need to be sold. So all that analysis can be done easily. And second, stock rotation. A product which has been manufactured first need to be sold first. So for stock rotation process also, we are going to be using this one. Okay, so there are going to be a lot of advantages we are going to be getting by maintaining multiple storage locations within the plant over here. So always remember these storage locations are going to be within the plant. That's the reason we try to call it as subdivision of plant. Subdivision of plant. Okay. Next term, godowns, warehouses. These things we hear it very often. Godowns or warehouses. Now, what we do in godowns or warehouses, we use it only for storage. We don't do anything, only for storage. So these godowns or warehouses, in SAP terms, we are going to be calling it as depot. The depot is purely used for what purpose? Inventory management. So there will be no production. There will be no production. We don't do any kind of manufacturing over here. You need to know the difference between the plant and the depot. Plant, both activities are going to be executed. In depot, purely inventory management. We use it for storage, not for any other purpose. No production. We don't do any kind of production over here. Now, where to use it, how it is going to be used. So I'm just trying to take up an example over here. Let's say we have a company by the name Royal Enfield. Try to manufacture bikes and they have the plant in Tamil Nadu. Why they have established their plant in Tamil Nadu? Because due to different reasons. Let's say that government is providing a lot of subsidies. So that's the reason this company has established that plant in Tamil Nadu. Let's say, okay, but they are trying to sell the products all over India. They're trying to sell the products all over India. So whenever customer places an order for a particular product, what happens? So let's say the customer is in Jammu, Kashmir. Okay, so he's placing an order. So whenever you place an order, stock need to be dispatched from where? From Tamil Nadu, and this will be taking a lot of delivery time because product need to be transported to Jammu and Kashmir and it need to be delivered to the customer. So it will be taking a lot of time. In this particular cycle, what happens? Customer may also cancel the order. So to reduce this delivery time, what we do, company will be establishing depot at different locations. So let's say one depot in Jammu and Kashmir, one depot in Delhi, one depot in AP. Like this, we try to maintain multiple depots at different locations. So what I do, I manufacture the product over here, but I'm going to be transferring the stock to the depots. I'm going to be transferring the stock to the depots. So whenever a customer from that particular location is placing an order from the nearest depot, I'm going to be supplying the stock. Instead of supplying the stock from plant, I'm going to be supplying the stock from the nearest depot. So that customer can receive the product on time. So this concept is what we try to call it as stock transfers, where we try to transfer the stock from one location to another location. So if you want to work with the stock transfers, we require a depot and we require a plant. Okay. So please understand the difference between plant and a depot and what is the use of it. Why we need to create so many depots or so many plants. There are going to be different reasons for that. Okay. So all these things you need to work it out. Company code, plant, storage location, depot creation, everything we need to be having a knowledge on how to use it. Okay. Now next term is related to the sales department. We have a sales department. Now what they do, they take care of selling the products. Sales department will be responsible for selling the products. Okay. Now the sales department is what in SAP terms we are going to be calling it as sales organization. In SAP terms we call it as sales organization. Now what the sales org will be doing? They are going to be responsible for selling the product and after sales service. They take care of selling the product and after sales they provide service. So we call it as a sales organization. So if company need to sell anything, it's going to be done through sales organization. They take care of selling the products and after sales they try to provide service as well. Okay, so no other department in the company will be responsible for selling the product. It's always going to be the sales org which will be taking care of selling the product, and we try to call it as an highest level in SD module. And for one company we can have multiple sales organizations maintained. It's not that we can have only one or two sales org, we can have multiple sales organization maintained. Let's say one sales will be taking care of domestic, one sales org will be taking care of exports, foreign trade. There's one way of doing the mapping, or we have different way. Let's say we have one sales org which will be taking care of north sales, south, west, east, based on zone specific. Based on zone specific. Okay, we try to maintain multiple sales organization. So sales job role is nothing but selling the products. So based on the business model, you need to come out with a solution for a particular business, how many sales organizations are required. Okay, that's first terminology in sales. And to whom you are going to be selling the products? So every company will be having their own set of customers. And we try to classify the customers as well. So few of them as a retail customer, wholesaler, and we have a dealer, bulk buyer, institutional sales. Like this, we have different groups of customers over here. And for each and every group, selling price is not going to be the same. It varies. Selling price will be not the same. It varies. Discounts varies. Payment terms varies. Delivery processing varies. Everything is going to be maintained separately. Okay. So these customers are what in SAP terms we try to call it as distribution channel, where we need to group them. Distribution channel over here. So this is nothing but channel through which saleable material reaches the customer. Channel through which saleable material reaches the customer. Okay, we call it as a distribution channel. Channel through which saleable material reaches the customer. So ultimate job role of a sales org is nothing but selling the products on time. So for different customer, selling price, discount, payment terms, delivery terms are going to be different. So each group of customers, we are going to be mapping it as distribution channel over here. Okay. Now to these customers, what company will be doing? They try to sell their product lines. Product lines. So let's take an example of a Samsung company. The Samsung is trying to sell different range of products. We know that they are into selling of TV and AV products, mobile phones. They are into selling of refrigerators. They are into selling of laptops, washing machines, home appliances. There are different range of products what this company is trying to sell it. So these product lines are what in SAP terms we are going to be calling it as division over here. Map it as division. So this division is nothing but group of collection of products. Group of collection of products, we call it as division over here. Group of collection of products. Because under TVs we have different variants like LED TV, LCD TV, plasma TV, OLED TV, ultra high definition TVs like that. Under mobiles also, once again, we have different types of mobiles. Okay, so here we are going to be mapping them as what? Divisions over here. What our products company want to offer it to the customer, we try to call it as a division, group of collection of products. Okay, so sales org will be responsible for selling the products to whom? To customer. So we have different types of customers who will be mapped as distribution channel, and to this customers we try to sell product lines. So all these product lines we are going to be mapping it as a division, over here. Okay, and as a customer, if you're interested in purchasing any product, how to do that? How to purchase the stock? So basically, customer try to visit a branch office or company stores or outlets. These branch office stores outlets terms in SAP is mapped as sales office. All these company stores we are trying to call it as sales office, which is nothing but point of contact. Point of contact between customer and the company. Point of contact between customer and the company. It's nothing but a physical geographical location. It's nothing but a physical geographical location. A point of contact between customer and the company, which we try to call it as a physical geographical location. Okay, where you will be having an infrastructure. You can go interact with the salespersons over there, get your product demo, clarify all your queries, and if you are interested, you can go for placing an order. Okay, and for one company we can have multiple stores. It's not that we can have only one or two stores, we can have multiple stores. So each and every store is going to be mapped as what? Sales office over here. You need to know this term, how exactly the sales office is going to be working. And people who work in the sales office, who take care of selling the products, we are going to be calling them as salespersons. The job role is nothing but taking care of company sales. Okay, and the salespersons are going to be divided into groups. Because each and every salesperson will be not responsible for selling all products, right? We try to maintain the job role for them. So every group will be having some restrictions. So one group will be taking care of selling only TV products. One group will be taking care of selling only mobile phones, refrigerators. Like this, we try to divide salespersons into groups. Okay. So these are going to be the things which you are going to be doing it in SD model. Creating a sales org, distribution channel, division, sales office, creating a salesperson. Now, why we need to create salesperson? In case if company is offering incentives on product sales, then we require the salespersons need to be created. And then sales groups. Okay, that's related to the sales. Now, in the same way, we have one more department called as purchase department. I have one more department, purchase department. Now this purchase department will be responsible for purchasing the stock. Now sales department will be responsible for selling the products. That's it. So you don't have any access to do any kind of purchasing. So if you require any stock, you need to update that information to the purchase team, and the purchase team will be responsible for doing the purchase. Okay, so this purchase department is what we try to map it or call it as purchase organization. We try to call it as purchase organization. The job role is nothing but purchase the stock. Purchase the stock required for the company. Whatever stock it can be. Okay? So they take care of purchasing, raw materials, semi-finished, finished product. Whatever stock is required, it's basically the purchase department which try to do all that purchasing activities. That take care of purchasing activities. So why we need to understand this particular term? Because we are going to be working with SDMM integration topics in the future. So there we are going to be using this particular term, purchase organization, how to use it, what is the use of it. Yeah. So for that we need to know. For that we need to know this one, purchase org. Okay. So what all things we have discussed as of now? We looked into these terms. What is the meaning of client and the company? Company code, plant, storage location, depot, sales organization, distribution channel, divisions, sales office, salespersons, sales group, purchase org. Okay. Now we have one more terminology which we call it as credit control area. This is related to your finance module. Credit control area. What they do. Now this credit control area is a team which try to fix up the credit limit. Of whom? Of the customer. So in case if customer is taking the goods on credit, that means you take the goods now and do the payment later. It's just like your credit card. And for each and every one of us, credit limit is going to be getting varied. In the same way, the company will be offering the goods on credit. You take the goods now and do the payment later. Okay. So on what basis this credit limit? Up to what value customer can take the goods on credit from the company? So it is going to be based on past payments. Based on past payments. Okay. So whether you're doing the payment on time or not, or you're a regular payer or an defaulter, based on payment history, based on number of transactions, how many transactions you are doing with the business. Are you a regular customer or not? So all these things are going to be analyzed by this credit control area, and they try to fix up to what value the customer can take the goods on credit from the company. Okay. So this concept is what we try to call it as credit management. Credit management, which is going to be integration of SD with FI. So if you want to work with this particular topic, we need to know the functionality of this credit control area, how to use it, and what exactly they are going to be doing it. Okay. Like this, we have few more terminologies. So another 3 to 4 terminologies are there. So I try to explain that one in our coming class, and I'm going to be taking one business model. Okay, so where I try to explain one company business process, and we try to start developing an enterprise structure on SAP platform. Okay, so you know how you're going to be developing it. So before I start doing the practical things, so I need to explain these terms. So that's the reason I'm started focusing, explaining each and every term, how you need to map it into SAP terms. So here I just forgot to mention one more point. So in real time, who will be doing what? So this company creation is going to be taken care by FI consultants. They are going to be responsible for this. Like company code will be created by FI itself. Whereas plant will be taken care by consultants. Storage location creation will be responsibility of Depot MM. Whereas the sales org, which will be taken care by SD consultants. So we are going to be responsible for this. Creation of a sales org, distribution channel, division creation, sales office creation, sales group creation, these things. Whereas a purchase org will be taken care by MM. Credit control area will be taken care by FI consultants. So each and every department will be having their own limitations to work out. So you need to know which consultant will be responsible for doing what activities. So let me stop it over here. So in next class, I try to discuss more about this and we try to practically work it out on the system as well.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Jairam.
Yeah.
Mr. Jairam, I have a few questions on this. First of
Yeah.
all, let me know what the topic we discussed is what we call it mapping.
Enterprise structure.
Enterprise structure.
Yeah.
And okay. And see, 1 second. Okay. And earlier, there are two terminologies. One is domain terminology and SAP terminology. In domain terminology, SAP, what is the difference between what actually they do for domain people and SAP people? It's like client and company, and in SAP
Nah,
also
I'm
client
just
and
trying to explain domain means a layman term language, a layman language. So how you call a particular organizational unit in a layman language. But
okay,
how
okay.
these terms are addressed in SAP.
Mhm. Okay,
So
and
just the naming convention is getting changed, but the functionality is going to be the same.
mhm.
Because let's say in SAP, if I try to talk about a plant, so you need to know what exactly this plant is all about. So plant
Okay,
is nothing but a factory. But instead of calling it as a factory in SAP terms, we try to call it as a plant. I'm just trying to explain that particular thing.
okay, and can you just give me some discussion, it's like brief discussion about this highest level in factory accounting, highest level in enterprise structure. What is this terminology stands for?
Head of the
What?
department. It's like in our college, we use it to have a head of the department, right? A person.
Okay, okay, okay.
So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like the same thing. So each and every module will be having one organizational unit, which will be addressed as a head of that particular department.
Okay, 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 okay. Now I got you. So they will be taking care of each and everyone.
Yeah,
The head
so
of the
that
department.
is going to be head of that particular module. So anything related to that, they are going to be responsible.
Okay. Okay, okay, Mr. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
And hope I will get these notes and as well as the previous classes notes today.
Right. Now I'm going to now itself I'm going to be doing it. So once I close this session, I'm going to be sharing it. You can have a
Okay,
look.
thank you so much.
Hello,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Yeah. Hello?
Uh, Actually, in the plant, production activities are there, right? It means
Yes, ma'am.
they will gather all the raw materials and they will um, give the final product, right? In the production
Yes.
activities.
Exactly.
But
So we change the
uh,
status of the material from raw to finished product by doing all that production.
suppose in the warehouse we are sending the inventories only,
Hmm.
then production activities are not done, right?
Right. We don't do any kind of assembling over there. We don't do any kind of activities over there. We just use it for storage.
Yeah, in the example you told, right, stock transfer the plant to the depot in the Royal Enfield
Right.
example.
Right.
Yeah, there who will do that production activity? It is already transferred from the plant to depot, right?
Here, your total bike is manufactured. Your finished product is just maintained in our depot.
Okay, then it means the after the production activities are done, they are transferring to the warehouse.
Right, exactly.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, because like in depot, we don't assemble everything and we hand over to the customer. No, we don't do it. In that case, it would be called as a plant, where all you assemble everything. So plant is nothing but a place where you assemble all the products and you finish or you make a finished product. So that finished product is going to be transferred to depot.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay.
Mr. Jairam, do we
Yeah.
have any special notes for this SJ?
Yes, I do have it. I'm going to be sharing it. So
Okay,
whatever
then
is required, I'm going to be sharing it as well. You can go through it.
thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, guys. So let me stop it. So we shall meet up on Monday and see the rest of it. Thank you.